Hi guys! Today I have something really exciting for you. I was lucky enough to talk with Nicole Dong about her creation, this brilliant show coming to Netflix on the 30th. It is called Centaurworld, and this thing is so much fun. It's a very bizarre, unique, musical filled with heart. It's like for kids, but it's for families. I mean, my whole family really enjoyed it. So I was really excited to pick her brain about this creation. Again, it does hit Netflix on July 30th. You guys definitely want to check it out. And before we get into this interview, if this is your first time here, I'd love it if you take 1 second and hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoy the content, go ahead and hit that notification bell. Okay, let's talk to Megan. Hey, Tessa from MamasGeeky here. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel. Well, Megan, thank you so much for taking the time today. I've got to tell you, my family and I absolutely love this show. We watched the entire thing over the weekend. My 8-year-old and my 10-year-old are like obsessed with this.
So, thank you so much. That's really nice to hear.
Every time one episode ended, they were like, can we watch the next one? Can we watch the next one? So we ended up watching the entire thing in one sitting.
Oh my gosh, awesome.
And they've watched it again since. But we love it so much. What I love about it, it's fun and unique, but like it has like a serious, deep story to it too. And from the press notes, I saw that it's a little bit kind of based on your story. So can you talk about how you came up with the idea and how it relates to your life?
Yeah, of course. So I grew up in I'm Asian American, and I grew up in kind of an environment where there was a lot of emphasis on academics. And so I thought I had to really focus on studying hard and getting good grades. And my freshman year of high school, I had a scheduling issue, and the only like extracurricular class that was available to me was show choir, and I was dropped into that. And as someone who trended more introverted, it was like a shock to the system. So I had to learn how to do jazz hands and smile on command, and of course sing in front of people. And I thought I wasn't going to survive the year, but I fell in love with it by the end of. And I kept doing choir for the rest of high school, but also I just came to realize through that experience that whatever I did had to be something in the arts. It had to be something creative, and that I had to keep doing music. So I really wanted to tell the story of a character who had one very specific way of thinking and was from one world and was, more serious, who ended up in this like wild, colorful, Muppety place with a lot of singing, and who was really ultimately changed by it.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's so much fun, and we really, really enjoyed it all the way through. Now, did you create the design for every single character in this?
Not for every single character, for the main characters, and for a lot of them, yes, I drew like all the herd. I had done drawings of them at some point, but yeah, we had a team come on and kind of like flesh out, like it was a lot of fun figuring out what was going to be a centaur in this world, because it ended up being anything from like the flies or the mosquitoes to like the leaves and trees, to even some of the background like mountains and everything, or the sun is kind of a centaur.
So how did it feel when Netflix was like, hey, we want to bring this show to Netflix?
It was really surreal, because it was not only that they were gonna let me like develop and make this show, but B, they were building up an animation studio, which they didn't have before, like for just all original animation. So it was fun to kind of to conceive this world, also as like and kind of build it up as a studio was physically being built up around me. So they were bringing in people, and the offices were being constructed, and it just felt a lot like going back to school, but in a really exciting way. And we had people around us who were like veterans of the industry, like James Baxter, who had animated Belle from Beauty and the Beast and Spirit, and then some of us who had never done this before. So it was a really exciting feeling to be here.
So how long a process was this, basically from conception to like now it's being released?
I first thought of the idea like 5 or 6 years ago, but I was working elsewhere and was like, I don't think I have the skill set to make this yet. And so, you know, I kept working and trying to learn how an animation, like how a series is made. So I got to do some directing, and then when I came here, I think I spent like almost a year developing it. Like I wrote writing and storyboarding the first episode and writing the songs and coming up with the Bible. And then after that, we went into production for a couple of years.
Wow. And so how many people worked on this?
A lot. Like just in-house, we had, like a big team of like storyboard artists and directors and designers, but we also worked with 2 different animation studios to kind of create the 2 different styles. So we worked with Red Dog Culture House in Korea to kind of do Horse's World, kind of the more action stuff, and then Mercury Filmworks, who's done Hilda and the Mickey Mouse shorts and like the Tangled series, to do kind of the squashy, stretchy Centaurworld side of the animation. So I wish I had a number for you offhand, but like sure a lot of people.
Yeah. You like a ton. Well, the cast is fantastic. And so can you talk a little bit about the casting process? Because you've got some really great, yourself included, in the voice cast.
Yeah, I mean, because we knew from the get-go this was going to be like a dedicated musical. We wanted to make sure that the whole cast was going to do all the singing too. So it was so much fun and so challenging to audition everyone because they had to sing and learn the songs. But we were really lucky. I think a lot of the talent that we got has so much stage experience, but also like I think a lot of professional singers are able to just do such like, they have such control over their voices, and they're so good at acting. I think just being on stage and all that acting, like they brought a lot of just even like Jesse Mueller had never worked in animation before. Josh Radner I don't think has done animated voices before, but they brought so much like natural talent to the roles and surprised us so much with all the comedy that they brought to it.
Now, was it always a plan for you to voice someone in this, or did that just kind of happen?
It was never part of the original plan. That character is so incredibly specific. And it was just like, I really wanted just a character that felt like 200% like a Muppet. And, just like pure Muppet energy. And so it ended up being just so incredibly like idiosyncratic that it just ended up performing and doing the role.
Now, I get a little bit of like Adventure Time vibes, where like that weird, bizarre world. So did any other shows kind of inspire this?
Our like, I guess if there was, I think I built like an inspiration board once, and it looked insane because it looked like it shouldn't have worked. We had like, like Muppets, like I mentioned, like The Never Ending Story, Flight of the Conchords and Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which are a musical series that I really love. Broadway, of course, like Disney musicals, and also things like Fringe. I really love the show Fringe.
Me too. I love that.
Yeah. And that was like a huge inspiration, as well as like video games like Breath of the Wild. So this really was a mishmash of like all these different things that I enjoy, and we just tried to make it all work by just having tracking this like having at the center of it just this emotional arc between like the character relationships and this journey that Horse is taking to try to find her rider again. And I think that just having the music be part of the storytelling kind of helped us like glue all of these very different pieces together.
Yeah, well, I really, really enjoyed it. And so if you had your audience take something away from this, what would you want that to be?
I think the central message of it is really Horse's journey, where she discovers that vulnerability isn't a weakness, but vulnerability is strength. And that pairs with the other central theme is really about finding your family. And Horse and Rider are orphans, and they only have each other, so they're like sisters, but aside from each other they don't really know what it means to be part of a family. And so it was nice to build the story of Horse meeting this very different group of people, but really learning what it means to be a part of a family. So those are the two like main messages I'd like for people to take away from it.
Awesome. Well, real quick, one last thing. You think there'll be any more from here? Maybe a season 2 or something with this world again?
I really hope so, because there's a lot more that I want to tell and a lot more I want to get into, and also just more places within Centaurworld that I would love to explore. And yeah, like, so I hope we get to tell more.
Yes, fingers crossed, because we want that too. Yeah. We're big fans in this house. Thank you again for taking the time today. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed diving deeper into the world of Centaurworld and learning a little bit more about this new Netflix series that comes out on July 30th. Like I said, my whole family really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. We watched it all in one sitting and had an absolute blast. Can't wait to watch it again and again. And I can't wait for the world to see it, because it's definitely a lot of fun with a lot of great messages. And I'm really looking forward to, fingers crossed, more of this world. So if you enjoyed this interview with Megan, leave a comment down below and let me know. Let me know what you're excited about for this new show and maybe your favorite part of the interview with Megan. If you enjoyed the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you don't miss out on more celebrity interviews like this one, as well as trailer reactions, movie reviews, television reviews, things like that. Be sure to give me a thumbs up, and you can follow me over on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at MamasGeeky over there, MamasGeeky. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much to all of my monetary supporters, my members here on YouTube, as well as my patrons. If you haven't joined yet, please consider doing so. We have some really awesome perks, including a monthly Zoom meeting where we get to talk face to face. Thank you again to everyone who supports me.